Wow, Batman Returns is honestly absolutely incredible, and they did such a good job in really making their villains not just villains for the sake of being villains, but you really do understand where they're all coming from, which really does make this movie absolutely magnificent. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel Lifestyle Critic. I hope you're having a brilliant day. So in this video we are going to be reviewing Batman Returns, which is a dark superhero noir movie and brings back the awesome Tim Burton back in the director's chair, and also brings back Michael Keaton in the titular role, and is easily one of the best comic book movies ever made. I absolutely loved how they really focused on the origin storylines of their villains, and you are really able to see and understand where they're all coming from, to the point where it really does blend horror, sympathy and real playfulness as well, and you can really empathize and sympathize on that point with the villains, and you can really understand why they are the way they are, all of their revenge ambitions, and it really does bring the audience along on that ride with the villains as well as with Batman as well. So it's just fantastically made, and I absolutely loved how they showed that the true villain in this film doesn't even wear a mask, so it's actually really sinister, as he is able to blend in with all of the other human characters, and they just did such a good job in terms of expanding upon the Batman lore and the Batman world, and this movie is just absolutely wicked, and I cannot wait to break it down for you in this movie review. So the storyline in this movie was originally going to be a bit of a hidden treasure hunting movie starring Penguin and Catwoman, but then got rewritten to really focus on their origin storylines and their revenge plots. And I absolutely loved, from a masked point of view, that they brought the Batman character into this storyline so that he is stopping both Penguin and Catwoman. But also from a human point of view, you can really see the Selina Kyle character, the Oswald Cobblepot character, as well as Bruce Wayne also having their own integrated storylines, which just worked so brilliantly, as in parallel they were able to tell both masked figure based storylines as well as human based storylines, which is absolutely wicked. So from a positives point of view, I absolutely love the fact that they were able to really demonstrate what humans are capable of doing. So it really does show that the human characters really are the ones to be feared, as well as the fact that, you know, the masked figures are obviously doing things that are really crazy, but the ones that are pulling all of the strings are definitely all of the human characters. I absolutely love the dark world that Tim Burton created in this movie, as well as expanding upon everything that took place in the first movie, as well as referencing stuff that happened in the first movie as well. I feel like it really did show how to do a sequel properly. And like I said before as well, I absolutely love the fact that they really built a lot of sympathy and empathy with all of the villains, so the audience members are really able to be connected with the villains and really understand all of their motivations, which actually a lot of movies that have been filmed subsequently since this film actually don't do that good of a job of. So the fact that this movie was filmed so long ago was absolutely fantastic, and it's really action packed as well. There are some wicked sequences in this movie, and then on top of that, even though it is a bit of a dark movie, it does actually have some comedic relief moments which just blends together really well. From a negatives point of view, not really a negative, but I would have just wanted even more from this movie. So I wish that we would have had a true third movie set within this darker world from Tim Burton, and I wish we would have got that original spin-off from the Catwoman character, as it sounded so wicked. Firstly, Michelle Pfeiffer absolutely smashed it as the Selina Kyle and Catwoman character, and in the spin-off movie we would have seen the Catwoman character going to Vegas, and we would have seen her being embroiled with some other new heroes, with her discovering that actually they're not as clean cut as they may well appear to be on the outside, so she has to don the Catwoman character again, which sounded so brilliant, and I wish we would have had this. And also, I guess another negative is that they don't give the Bruce Wayne and the Batman character as much to do, as obviously it does center around the villain characters. And on that point, I absolutely love the fact that Penguin and Catwoman, while working together to try to frame the Batman character, absolutely love that aspect of the storyline, and seeing how Alfred, Bruce Wayne and Batman are going to get out of this was absolutely wicked. And so from a storyline point of view, I have to say Batman Returns is absolutely awesome. So from a cast and characters point of view, Batman Returns is absolutely extraordinary. So let's go through them one by one. So first we have Michael Keaton returning as the Bruce Wayne and the Batman character. And this time we see that this character is really struggling with the duality that he has to live with both of these different personas. Maybe not done as well as Spider-Man 2 does this storyline, but still really cool to see. And I definitely feel like this character is pretty overshadowed by all of the villains. But that being said, he definitely is still able to hold his own in all of the Bruce Wayne and the Batman sequences, are absolutely wicked in this movie. Next up we have the phenomenal Oswald Cobblepot character / Penguin, and I just absolutely love this character. You can totally feel for this character from the first few moments of this movie where you see the parents of this character totally abandoning him, chucking him in the river, and then seeing the fact that he was raised for 30 years by penguins, which is just absolutely traumatic, and you really can feel for this character, and you can really see where his revenge ambitions are coming from. So he's a really tragic character who, like I said, you can really sympathize with and understand why he's doing what he's doing. Of course, this doesn't justify what he's doing, but that being said, I absolutely love the fact that they really explained and drew in the audience to really understand where this character is coming from. And I absolutely love the metaphors as well, as somebody from the sewer world is coming up to the surface world and is causing absolute chaos. And even though he is from the sewer world, he was still able to influence a lot of people in the upper world, and actually did have a bit of a cult following behind him when he was trying to become mayor, which I thought was absolutely wicked from this character's point of view. Next up we have Michelle Pfeiffer, who similarly was absolutely incredible as the Selina Kyle and Catwoman character. I absolutely loved how they were showing that this character originally is a really unconfident secretary who finds out the truth and then quite literally has her life being chucked out of the window, but then comes back to life as the Catwoman character. And I absolutely loved how this reincarnated version of this character has just grown so much in strength, really is no nonsense, and is very determined in achieving her ambitions. And I absolutely love the love sequences that they were showing between this character and Bruce Wayne, as well as Batman and Catwoman, which of course is now really, really infamous, and it was just depicted so brilliantly in this movie. And I also loved all of the whip scenes with this character. I feel like she was really iconic, and they spent so much money on all of the outfits with all of the different characters, villains and heroes, and I just feel like it captured their identities so brilliantly in this movie. Like I said before, I wish we would have got the true spin-off with this version of the character, as Michelle Pfeiffer was so phenomenal as both Selina Kyle and as Catwoman. Commissioner James Gordon surprisingly doesn't really do that much in this movie. We've got Michael Gough back as the brilliant Alfred Pennyworth, and he really does bring back his wit, his humour, and his loyalty towards both Bruce Wayne and Batman, and definitely is the partner in crime towards this character. They were originally going to have Robin in this movie as well, but similarly to what happened to this character in Batman 1989, he was very unceremoniously written out of the script, and of course returns in the third movie and the infamous fourth movie as well. Next up we have Christopher Walken, who is brilliant, absolutely phenomenal as the true villain in this movie, Max Shreck. I mean, this character originally was supposed to be played by Billy D. Williams, who was supposed to return from the first movie and then was going to become Two-Face by the end of this film, but instead they brought in this brand new character who plays a wealthy businessman who is so manipulative, as he wants to create a chemical plant to be able to control all of Gotham City. But when the current mayor rejected his plan, he kind of took advantage of the fact that Penguin wants to come up to the surface world and manipulated Penguin into running for mayor, and was really, really supportive of him when he could see all of the positive reception that the audience was giving towards his character. However, when this completely shifted and the public completely rejected the Penguin character, this character also rejected Penguin, and you can just really see how self-interested this character is. And really great social commentary actually as well, in terms of people will only use people and then dispose of them when they don't actually add any value back to them. And like I said, just you really get to see how much of a true villainous character this is. And of course he is also embroiled in the Selina Kyle storyline as well, and was really demonstrating the fact that true villains don't even wear masks, which I think is a really, really chilling concept. And so from a cast and characters point of view, I honestly have to say this movie got it absolutely perfect. So the visuals in Batman Returns is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, firstly, they continued the dark world from Batman 1989 so fantastically, continuing the vision of Tim Burton's world of Batman so fantastically. I absolutely loved all of the costumes. I feel like they depicted all of the characters so fantastically, especially the underground sewer world of the Penguin character. You really can see all of the darkness and the evilness in the way this character was raised, and in turn you can really feel the bitterness that this character is feeling for everybody in the surface world. And I absolutely love the way in which they were showing all of that. They also showed the corruptness within the corporate sector, which I think was really, really chilling. And the Batmobile being taken over by the Penguin character was so phenomenal as well. This movie was filmed so long ago, yet the technological advancements of the Batmobile is still really impressive to this day. And I just feel like they did everything in this movie so brilliantly, which is why from a visuals and cinematography point of view, it still holds up today. So from a comparisons point of view, like I said, Batman Returns is easily one of the best movies ever made, one of the best Batman films ever made, and one of the best comic book movies ever made. I mean, Batman Dark Knight was definitely in another league of its own, but Batman Returns definitely is able to hold its own as well. Absolutely loved all of the villains, loved the world they were creating, loved the motivations that the audience is really able to understand with all of these different characters. And I just feel like they wrapped it all together in a brilliant package in this movie, which really means from start to finish it is super enjoyable and really did set the bar really high for Batman films, comic book films, and movies in general as well. So overall, I'm sure you can tell I absolutely love Batman Returns. I think it's such a phenomenal movie, and I think for once they really did show how you do villains properly. So many movies that have been done since this film really don't get their villains right, whereas Batman Returns did such a wicked job with them. And I absolutely love all of the attention to detail that this movie has. For example, all of Penguin's men are considered to be outcasts and misfits from society, and I also really love how originally they were going to have the Max character being the golden child and the older brother of the Penguin character, and Penguin was then going to discover this, and then we were going to see a bit of a rivalry happening between these two characters. I think that could have been really interesting. And then from Selina Kyle's point of view, in a very similar way to Spider-Man actually, when she puts on a mask, she really does get this strength and really does feel invincible and really confident. And I feel like this is really interesting social commentary as well, in terms of the mask that people put on. And I absolutely love the world that they had in this movie, love the mystery that was happening with all of these different characters. The fact that they even framed Batman and were then controlling the Batmobile to make him even worse and to really bring down the reputation of this character like he did with the Penguin character. Such a genius movie, and so for all of those reasons, I have to give Batman Returns a massive 8 out of 10. Now I'd love to hear what you thought of this film, so let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.